All right, I'm gonna try to use the same dough and show you 2 ways to shape it for final shaping before it goes into your proofing basket or bowl and into the fridge. So I'm gonna take the dough that's been resting for about 20 minutes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna again kind of stretch it out. I don't really make too many rounds anymore, but I'll show you. It's very similar to the pre-shaping, just for a little bit longer. So stretch it out and then fold it all together. Again, there's lots of different ways to do that. Fold it all toward the middle. I think everybody has their favorite way. When I would do rounds, this would be what I would do. So I'd fold it all to the middle and then roll it over. And I'm gonna do that same technique of kind of pushing it forward, pulling it back as I'm spinning. So as it spins, I'm pushing it forward and I'm pulling it down. Spinning and pushing forward and pulling it down. So the dough's rotating on the counter. As it's doing that, it's kind of tightening up the bottom. I think shaping can be a difficult step to learn. But the better you shape your dough, the nicer it's going to come out. Once it starts to get tight on top, I won't pull as much. We don't want to rip the dough. So then I'll just kind of switch to moving it in a circle to tighten up the bottom of the dough instead of pushing forward and pulling. So once it's like that, it would be ready to go into its proofing basket and then into the fridge. My dough usually goes in the fridge anywhere from 12 to 14 hours, sometimes longer. I would say the minimum I would do for a cold proof is about 5 hours. But everybody's a little different and everybody has their preference. So at this point, it would go into whatever proofing basket you have. I'm going to reshape this into an oval because that's the shape that I'm baking most. So I'll try my best. Even though this dough has been shaped, I'm going to try to flatten it back out again and show you how to shape an oval loaf and then put it into my proofing basket. So I'm going to kind of try to smush it down and stretch it back out, which normally you wouldn't do. See if I can get closer. This oval shaped loaf is called a batard, so if you look it up, that's what you would be searching. So since it's already been shaped, it's not as flexible, but what I do is I'm going to pull out the bottom and kind of stretch the bottom down and fold it about halfway up and kind of push that down. I take each side and stretch it out and fold it into the middle. Stretch it out and fold it in. Now it's kind of created a burrito or a baby diaper. Take the top, I'm going to stretch it forward and pull it down. Seal it on the bottom. I'm going to take all these sides and kind of tie them in. I'm going to pull this one, it's hard to see. Taking the sides, pulling them in. And I'm going to take the bottom, I'm going to roll it up. Kind of using my fingers to tuck it in under, and then using the counter to pull back a little bit. I'm going to pinch the sides up so that those are closed. And this is your oval loaf. So that's going to go into my proofing basket, which is again an oval shape. I use a little bit of rice flour to coat the banneton or whatever proofing you're using. This is a great sourdough tool, but it's not necessary to have right away. I used all sorts of different shaped bowls when I was first starting out. So put some white rice flour in there. I'm gonna take my oval dough and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna flip it this side down into the basket. So it's gonna go smooth side down into the basket. There it sits. I usually go back and kind of pinch the edges together, or I'll even stitch it up by basically folding over the dough and kind of pinching it all close together. So we've got our oval shaped dough. I'll do a little bit more rice flour, a little bit on top to prevent sticking. I'll take a little towel. I usually just use a thin tea towel and cover that. And then that's what's gonna go into the fridge for at least 5 hours, but generally 12 hours and up. In the morning, it'll come out for baking.